While the IJN Myoko has served me very well in the past as a grinding ship for the IJN Blue Water fleet, it's time for a higher caliber of a new premium ship. Welcome with me today, the IJN Myoko, and let's have a closer look at its fabulous 8-inch guns. I hope you enjoy. Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Sorry for my absence, but IRL happened, and now I'm back with the second premium cruiser at rank 4 for the Japanese Blue Water fleet, the IJN Myoko. A beautiful Myoko class in its 1944 iteration, rank 4, battle rating 5.7, and today's video is a little bit different because I'm not just talking about this ship, but in particular why I was looking forward to play this ship, why it's actually doing the job I'm asking it to do, why the Myoko in comparison is not as good a deal of a premium ship, and I just want to compare it in its AP penetration power with the Myko's 6.1-inch guns AP, the German Admiral Hipper class, the Prinz Eugen's 8-inch AP CBC round, and then I'll show you how the 20.3 centimeter Type 91 AP, which is an APHE BC round, stacks up. The grind was beautiful. The Myoko class is less protected in terms of overall armor, and also has less torpedoes than the Mogami class, the Myoko, the Susuya, and the Mogami alike. But my main point is that torpedoes are not really that important in War Thunder. Yes, it's nice if you can get a full salvo into an enemy spawn and get multiple hits, but that's rarely the case. And if you really want to go with that, then there are better ships to do this. For example, the Shimakaze can fire 15 Type 93 Model 3 torpedoes, which have almost a ton of warhead. So before I talk about the speed, the armor, the AA, etc., I just really want to focus on the AP performance because it's so important and what it makes of a difference. The red line is the Prinz Eugen's AP CBC round. The green line is the Myko's 6.1-inch AP round, and right in between, like a perfect fit in between, is the blue line of the Myoko's 8-inch AP HE BC round. The difference is that it has now enough penetration, whereas with the Myko's 6.1-inch, especially at range, I used to struggle in the past to deal significant damage to other heavy cruisers and sometimes even light cruisers, especially cracking open the juicy lower part of the barbette of a USS Helena. With the Myoko, this is now no longer a problem. Yes, it's even easier with the Prinz Eugen, but so can I deal with the Prinz Eugen, right? And I think that this is perfectly shown in this shot. Even when angled, good aim, volume of fire from 10 guns, 12-second reload, it's beautiful. And I think that the Prinz Eugen is already a massive monster. To be honest, it's still, in my opinion, considered to be better, but it's good enough for me. And this good enough for me is just what I wanted. When we then look at the graph for the penetration of AP at 60 degrees angles of attack, we see a funny thing, namely that the Prinz Eugen's and the Myoko's AP start off almost identical, but then the AP CBC round from the Prinz Eugen falls off to almost the 6.1-inch AP HE value at range, which I think is very interesting to note. There is no practical use for that information in War Thunder, except if somebody is really heavily angled, but just that you see what I'm talking about. So let's quickly talk about the ammunition with real numbers here. So you have as a stock round, so to speak, the HE round, despite 8.5 kilograms of TNT and 61 millimeters of penetration, it barely scratches destroyers. That's just real shatter in naval forces. And then as a tier 1 upgrade, yes, I know it's a premium, but still, you have the 20.3 centimeter Type 91 AP with 362 millimeters of penetration and 3.25 kilograms of TNT bursting charge. That deals more damage than the 8-inch AP of the Admiral Hipper class, and you really feel this. It's really satisfying to use those guns. And so this is the main point. You have 12 seconds reload for 8-inch guns, you have 10 of them, and that's beautiful. You have also 16 of the Type 93 Model 1 Mod 2 long lances, and they're awesome. 91 kilometers per hour top speed, 20 kilometers range, 627 kilograms of TNT equivalent bursting charge, and you have 16 of them compared to 24 for the Mogami class, and that comes from one quadruple launcher per side plus one full set of reload. And to be honest, that's enough. You don't need that many torpedoes. The main disadvantage of the Japanese torpedoes are the horrendously bad launching angles from the rather modern cruisers. That includes also the Tone, Agano, Aoba, etc. So when it's not about the torpedoes, the guns are your selling point, and in this case you are better off with the Mikuma. The weird part is the Myoko is at battle rating 5.7, where you face more destroyers, and the Mikuma faces more heavy and light cruisers, and you know, both would deal better with the other's main target field, let's put it that way. The Mikuma has a higher rate of fire, and with 15 guns quite the volume of fire, which would deal perfectly fine with all sorts of destroyers, where you just flood them with AP till they die, and the Myoko could deliver the quality banzai charge punch, if that's even a word. Now, I have to talk about a few things. First of all, I love the fact that the Myoko has also those catapult fighters. You have 2 of them, and yeah, they were really useful in some of the battles that I had. The next thing is, despite its being in its 1944 iteration, so late war design or upgrade if you will, the AA is still useless. The 5-inch guns, they don't have the rate of fire, they don't have proxy fuse, you have no radar. Yeah, not really good heavy AA. And the rest is all 25 millimeters. Single mounts, double mounts, triple mounts, you name it. But they don't have a high rate of fire per gun. They don't have really a sustained rate of fire, because then magazines, 20 round magazines or something like that. And they don't have the range, and even if you hit the plane, you don't kill it. And it's also a bit of a problem when you fight patrol boats. You need your heavy AA or your main guns. And that brings me now to one factor that you really need to take into consideration, and that is the armor. And this is one of those weird things where especially the Prinz Eugen shows that you don't need to have all the armor in the world, just a bit is good enough. Because the turrets themselves have, just like with the Mogami class, only 1 inch or 25.4 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor. They can be disabled by Destroyer HE. The barbettes are a bit better, with 3 inches or 76 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor. And then the main armor belt for the machinery and the rear magazine is 102 millimeters or 4 inches, whereas also the half of the main belt for the machinery is above the waterline, and the magazine, both front and aft, are right at the waterline with a deck plating of 35 millimeters. However, due to there being a lot of lower parts of the angled funnels, this means that a lot of the crew dies even by HE spam or AP or SAP rounds, even from destroyers. You're not safe, so don't get hit. Shoot at the guys that shoot at you, prioritize them, spawn in late, and then you have a better time, an easier time. And I think this is a problem many ship faces. So yeah, armor has its value. As I said, the Prinz Eugen, you need hard AP to kill it, but you can kill it, even if you angle it. But it's just so much more reliable versus, let's say, inferior opponents like destroyers or patrol boats, versus you really have to fear everything, and I mean everything, in the Myoko. Still, I absolutely love the ship. I had overall good results. The torpedoes, as expected, were not really that useful. As you can see, that was the first hit with a long lance on an Atlanta, right midships, and then a second one, and only then it died. And that was after I already treated it with some 8-inch AP before I was gunned down. And finally, we then get the kill in just a moment. So it's definitely not flawless, but if there is a choice to be made, either the Myoko or the Mikuma as a premium cruiser, I would go for the Myoko. It's the lower battle rating, it's the better guns, and that is essentially what matters the most in naval forces, as you can see. And I love those guns. I really do. This AP kicks ass and I love it. You don't need SAP, although the Admiral Hipper class is just still more versatile and more reliable. And that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please let me know in the comment section what you thought about this kind of presentation. Were the charts useful? Did you learn anything? And please give this video a like with it, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.